It's Wednesday, the 20th of July, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's rip into it. Story 1 today. The Reserve Bank has warned that close to 1/3 of all mortgage holders will pay 40% more to repay their home loans if rates rise by 3 percentage points, which is basically what's forecast by financial markets.
And that's really worrying the central bank, even if on balance households are in pretty good shape. The bank's analysis also shows that 1/3 of variable rate borrowers have already been paying extra, so the recent hikes won't affect them. Problem there is might mean the Reserve Bank has to lift rates even more. Another worry for the bank is what happens when people who took out a fixed rate loan in 2020 and 2021 when rates were low, what happens when they shift on to much higher variable loans? That will occur over the next few years, but the greatest concentration will be the end of next year. Now, the Reserve Bank Deputy Governor Michelle Bullock yesterday said that the official cash rate is probably well below where it needs to eventually be, which is a more neutral rate. Remember, it's gone from 0.1% to 1.35% in the last 3 months. Market economists reckon it'll go quite a bit higher by the end of this year. Ms. Bullock said households had relatively high levels of debt, but concerns have been offset by rising house prices, meaning increased wealth, a build-up of savings and good bank behaviour, among other things. But the people that are most vulnerable are recent home buyers who have high mortgages and not made extra repayments. And if they took the loan out recently, their ability to repay won't have been measured as stringently as if they took it out a few years ago. So that's a worry for the bank, that part of the market.
Sean, story number 2 today is a pretty stark warning from the Chief Medical Officer, Paul Kelly, who yesterday said that Australia is at the start, not the end, of the BA4 and BA5 Omicron wave.
He said the best thing to do to address the risk of severe disease from COVID-19 is take the vaccines as prescribed to your age group. If you're over 50, you should now be getting the 4th dose. Professor Kelly said the best vaccine is the one that's available, and he urged employers to let staff to work from home. Federal Health Minister Mark Butler yesterday reiterated that 2 doses wasn't enough, and 5 million eligible Australians still haven't had a 3rd job. Now, there's been 300,000 reported infections over the past week across the country, though the real number was probably double that. And just quickly, Michael, the Therapeutic Goods Administration yesterday granted provisional approval to the Moderna vaccine for children aged 6 months to 5 years.
Yeah, that is very good news, especially for those of us with young kids. Story number 3, Sean, one of our favourite retailers to talk about, and I know a lot of people love shopping at it, JB Hi-Fi has posted record sales and earnings for last financial year. Get this, online revenue up more than 50%.
Pretty incredible. It's hard to think of a better retailer in recent years than JB Hi-Fi, and its share price reflects that, including yesterday's 2% jump and all the ups and downs throughout COVID. JB's share price has more than doubled since early 2019. Same-store sales growth was up 11% in its Australian business during the June quarter. That's impressive. The challenge for JB and other discretionary retailers is to keep up the good work when interest rates are rising. Much tougher to grow your business in that type of environment.
Sure is. Story number 4, Sean, the chair of Tesla, who is actually an Australian, Robin Denholm, says that the number of Teslas in Australia could double by the end of the year, and she's also called for more lithium mines.
Now, it is a bit self-serving, but it's still interesting because she's a real global player, Robin Denholm. She told the Clean Energy Summit in Sydney yesterday that she believes Australia's greatest opportunity this century is to be a global leader in the battery supply chain, building on its resources of lithium and other minerals. Australia is already the largest producer of lithium in the world. Now, of course, that's used in batteries, and we mine about half the globe's output. Ms. Denholm said the world can't build batteries fast enough, and that could limit action on climate change. She also urged the government to introduce fuel efficiency standards to help drive the uptake of EVs, highlighting New Zealand, where new policies have helped almost triple electric vehicle sales in a little over a year.
Now, this is linked very neatly to our 5th story for this morning, Sean. General Motors will finally start selling a battery-powered Chevrolet model next year, which competes directly with the Tesla Model Y, the biggest selling EV in the US.
Yeah, GM has fallen behind in the EV race, and its first battery-powered car at reasonable prices will go on sale in 12 months. That will be followed by 2 other models. Given all the regulation changes in the US and the push to introduce EVs, companies like General Motors and Ford are drastically scrambling to try and catch Tesla and those other market leaders. Anyway, this time 12 months, GM will have an affordable car in the EV market.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Wednesday, the 20th of July, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast, and if 5 minutes isn't enough for you, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.